Hi everyone, it's been a while. I haven't uploaded for a couple months, been on a bit of a social media hiatus for good reason. So let me explain. I kind of alluded to this in my last video, which was again about a month and a half, 2 months ago, but I made the switch to fully automated trading. As I explained in that video, a developer that I'm working with and a new partner of mine at Currency Pros fully automated my trading strategy, the one that I've been teaching here for many years. Thanks to MetaTrader 5 offering the Expert Advisor platform, we were able to fully automate my strategy into basically an algorithm or a trading bot, if you will. This thing is fully hands-free, 100% automated, and it trades better than I ever did. So because of that, I figured, let's make the switch full-time. The backtesting results support it. The live testing results that I've been performing also support it. So let's make the switch and get my time back. So now that I don't need to look for trading opportunities anymore, I realize I'm spending very little time on the charts. In fact, no time at all on the charts. I'm just monitoring the trades that the Expert Advisor is placing on my phone on MetaTrader 5 mobile. So it's very stress-free, and it's allowed me to regain a lot of my time. So you can start to see why I haven't been making much content lately. I just don't have much to talk about. All is well, it's going well, I'm very happy about it, and I'm finally able to start pursuing the things I'm more passionate about in life. Now in this video, I'm going to show you a bit of that. I'm going to go visit my investment property that I've been working on. It's been progressing very well, and I'm excited to show you guys the progress there. I also just have a few errands to run today, so I'll be out and about on this beautiful spring day, one of the first nice days we've had in what feels like many months here in Canada. So I'm very grateful for that. And stick around till the end of the video because I'm going to do a little demonstration of this automated EA that I've been talking about. I'll hop on my computer and show you guys the settings and basically everything to do with it. I'm going to answer a lot of your questions that I've been receiving regularly in my DMs, and I'm going to show you a little behind the scenes of what I like to do when I'm not thinking about trading or when I'm not making content about trading. So buckle in, get ready for a little day in the life, non-flashy version, no quick edits, just raw, genuine, slow-paced day in the life. Before I head out to run some errands, I wanted to show you guys, even though my garage is an absolute disaster right now, I got a new sauna and it's really cool. I've been using it quite a bit. It's been great for recovery after workouts or just on rest days too. It's been really, really nice. You get a good sweat in there. It's an infrared sauna. One person obviously, but that's plenty. You're only in there for like 30 minutes at a time. So it's been great. Would highly recommend getting one of these if you can. It's got a sound system in there too. It's pretty badass. Yeah, gym's a mess right now too. Really got to clean up this space, but this is one of my favorite parts about this house. I had to create a home gym, and I'm very grateful to be able to do that. As I said, it's a disaster in here right now. Got tools lying all over the place. But anyways, let's head out, run some errands. All right, I just stopped by my rental property, just checking on the progress here. As you can see, it's a little different from the last time I showed you all. Before, I believe it was still just open framing, and now we've got the walls done. They're all primed on the main floor. I believe the bedrooms are primed too. I'll go take a look at that. So really good progress here. In a couple days, we're starting tile and then hardwood right after that. We've got some beautiful white oak, wide plank hardwood going into this house, so it's gonna be beautiful. Yeah, bedrooms are all primed as well. It's looking good. I'm very happy about this. All the hard work is done. We can finally start moving forward on finishing, which is the fun part. I've got a secondary panel up here because this is a 2-unit house. Got a laundry closet here with the attic opening as well. Yeah, really excited to see this come together. I'm going to show you guys the basement too. Still have this shitty old deck here. I'm pretty sure I have to rip this out. It's not very safe. Look at this. That's not good. All right, let's check out the basement. Yeah, so these walls haven't been primed yet. They've been very nicely sanded. The tapers did a great job here and they worked very quickly too. So I'm really happy about this. Yeah, it looks a little different, huh, from the last time I showed you guys. It finally looks like a house, and we've got another panel in here as well. This one is still the old panel. We need to replace it with a new one. But because this is a semi-detached house and we need to upgrade the electrical meter outside, we need approval from the city, and that's just taking a very long time. So the electric company and the city are just going back and forth, and then my electrician will come back and install the panel and do all the finishing electrical as well. Now let's go to the basement. This is like the living area for the second unit. And this is all done too. All the walls are up. I'm super happy about this. It was in the framing stage for so long because of just having so many delays. And so I'm really, really happy to see it all closed up and start finally looking like a house. I can't wait to show you guys when this is all finished because it's going to be such a beautiful place. Whoever rents both of these units are going to be very, very happy. But anyways, I'm going to head out of here and go run some errands. We'll have a little chat in the car. So let's get to it. So I just got out of Home Depot. I actually just picked up a thermostat for my rental property. Super exciting, right? I know, riveting stuff. But what I wanted to quickly touch on is I've been getting so many requests to do all sorts of like technical analysis, like chart style videos. And it's honestly one of the reasons why I took a little break from YouTube, because it gets overwhelming at times. There's only so many times I can repeat the same concepts. Like, I've been brainstorming what else I could do with this channel to kind of adapt the content more towards my lifestyle and more towards how things are going in my life in general, because I've already put out all the technical stuff. Like, I've already put it all out there. The content on this channel, teaching you my strategy and going over trade setups and trade recaps and explaining things at such a deep level, that's already all on my channel. I can't say it any differently, really. It's just going to get repetitive and redundant. So with that being said, combined with the fact that I'm not even manually looking for trades on the charts anymore, I'm just trying to figure out a different way to go about content that still includes trading and the trading lifestyle around it, while also being a little bit more entertaining too. So we'll see where things go. I do have a lot of travel plans coming up, as well as a really big investment that I'm really looking forward to. I'm not going to talk too much about it just yet, but I'm excited to share more details as they come. I've freed up so much of my time by switching to automated trading that I don't know what to talk about anymore. I don't know what content to make. I can show you guys how the EA that I'm using operates, and I can tell you all about it, and I can do recaps every now and then. But to be honest, after 7 years of doing this, I'm tired. I'm tired of finding trade setups every day. I'm tired of being at my desk and stuff. Like, I want to actually live life. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy the fruits of my labor. I've been very financially successful, which I'm so grateful for. But I want to utilize that to create experiences and do cool things. So that's what I'm going to be focusing a lot more on. And I hope that I can find a way to make content around that in a way that still provides value to you all, because I appreciate each and every one of you watching this channel. And it's been so cool for me watching this channel grow, reading all of your comments, seeing how it's changed your lives in so many ways. The strategic content that I've posted on this channel has literally changed lives. I still, to this day, every day, get private messages about people who have just become funded after trying for so long and failing, and they've received their first payout, second payout, third payout. They've retired their parents. They've paid off their mortgage. I get these messages every day. It puts a huge smile on my face. But as I said, that content's already there. So if for some reason it's still not clicking for you, just go back and watch those videos. They're not going anywhere anytime soon, I don't think. So they're there for you to watch and digest. If you don't understand something, watch it again. You can feel free to ask questions in the comments as well. I'll do my best to answer. But I can't just keep making the same videos. So thank you for tuning into my little rant. Now on with the day. I'm going to go home, probably eat something, and then I'll hop on the computer, give you guys a little rundown of the EA that I keep talking about, the tool that has truly changed my life and given me back my time and energy. So let's head back home and get to it. All right, I'm back in my office now. I want to give you guys a little rundown on the EA that I have been using. I'm going to show you all the features and explain exactly how it works. Let's dive into it. So here we are on MetaTrader 5, the desktop terminal, which is necessary to run an expert advisor. Now I'm currently logged into one of the public accounts that I started at 10K. As you guys may remember from some of my previous content, I started 2 fresh accounts, deposited $10,000 into each of them, one for swing trading and one for day trading. I've been growing them both respectively, and they're both hooked up to a public MyFX book, which all of the Currency Pros community can see. So everybody's tuned into that. It's just nothing but transparency. Everybody can see every trade that I'm involved in at all times, because both of these accounts are linked to a copy trader and they send the trades throughout all my other accounts. So it's all linked together. If you want to know the copy trader that I'm using, click the link in the description below. It's the best copy trader I've ever used, and it is just 10 out of 10. It allows me to trade mainly from my personal accounts, and then I can trade prop firms in addition to that, without actually having to log into all of these accounts and trade them individually. I only have to trade from one account, or in this case, 2 accounts, because I have swing trading and day trading. But then all of the trades that are taken on those accounts are automatically shared to the other accounts without any additional effort on my part. Now, enough rambling about that. Let's get into the EA itself. So looking at the chart here, you can see that I just recently had a full take profit from this Euro JPY trade. So this was taken completely hands-free. I didn't find this opportunity. I didn't execute this opportunity. The EA automatically calculated my lot size and entered the trade, placed the parameters and everything. I also just experienced a full take profit on Euro AUD right here. This one has a bit cleaner chart work that I can explain. This one was actually really close to the stop loss being hit. So I'm going to go over these ones quickly, and then I'll open up the settings and explain everything. So this is the strategy that I've been teaching for a very long time. This trade here was based on this range here, this bearish drop to the downside, price retraced. EA automatically activated an order for me. Got very, very close to hitting the stop loss, but I had a bit of a buffer there. And it dropped right towards my take profit and just closed me out for a full take profit. I also took a small loss today, which was USD CAD. You can see that as well. Let me zoom out a bit. The chart work is shifting now because it's still developing. But previously we had this big bullish range here. There was a nice imbalance located here that landed right on my Fibonacci level. The EA automatically executed a buy position here. And unfortunately, after a few brief peaks above my entry, we actually hit the stop loss. So unfortunate, but it's a small loss, especially in comparison to the 2 full take profits that were hit today. So very happy about that. Now let's head over to the active trade, because you can see I have one going right now. So this should be a good explanation as well. We've got a USD JPY long trade. So this is where you can really see the EA in action. So we've got a clear liquidity grab here. We've got a break of structure to the upside. The break of structure isn't mapping correctly. It should be down here more. So there's still like little tweaks we have to work on in terms of chart annotations and how it shows up. But the logic of the EA is working perfectly, and I couldn't be happier with it. So there's a break of structure here. There's technically a break of structure up here where it's showing as well, but that's not the one I would pay attention to actually validate the setup. Now, the Fibonacci range is this low down here and then this high up here. It's not set to the extreme wick because that data can vary greatly from broker to broker. So we have it coded a little bit differently. But anyways, as soon as this range was established, the EA automatically placed a buy limit order at these parameters here. So you can see my fib level is at 71% and it lands on this imbalance right here. Now I know MetaTrader chart work isn't as pretty as TradingView, so please bear with me. I'm getting used to this platform as well. This is where the EA operates, so this is what I'm sticking to. Now this trade was triggered beautifully with very minimal, almost non-existent drawdown. You can see that blue arrow right there that I'm hovering over. That's where the trade was actually executed, and very quickly afterwards it took off to the upside. So it's currently progressing right now, just sitting around $600 of profit. Again, this is a very small account. The dollar amounts don't really mean much to me. The reason I created this account is to have it publicly linked to a MyFX book so you guys could see the percentage gain, because that's what matters most. Obviously, you can use that percentage gain and extrapolate that information based on how much capital you have or aim to have in the future anyways. So don't focus too much on the dollar amount. I'm certainly not. So focus on the performance instead. But yeah, this is progressing very, very nicely. At the time of recording, it's Thursday, and tomorrow is Good Friday, which is a holiday. So I imagine things are going to be pretty slow. A lot of markets are closed tomorrow. So kind of treating today like it's Friday. So it's really nice to get 2 take profits and then seeing this one progress beautifully as well. Now keep in mind, we're on the 15-minute time frame. So these are a lot faster paced trades in comparison to swing trading. So with that being said, let me go ahead and pull up the settings of the EA and we can discuss how this thing operates. If any of you have watched any of my technical content on this YouTube channel, you should be very familiar with this because it's literally the same thing, but automated. This isn't some martingale bot or some trend following bot. This is literally the strategy that I've been teaching, except better, because it performs better than I personally do. So we've got all kinds of cool settings within the EA. First of all, we have a risk management section where you choose your type of risk. We can go from percentage based, or you can turn that to a fixed dollar amount, and then you type that down below. So I'm currently at 2% risk, which is very minimal, and I have my max active trades set to 4. So that means at any given time, I can't have more than 4 active trades going. That doesn't include pending orders, but it does include active trades. So this is a risk management system that will allow me to not blow a bunch of capital if I have a really bad day. Now, in terms of trading this with prop firms, you could obviously reduce this amount, and of course you could reduce the amount of risk as well. That's a very important thing to do when trading prop firms, because you usually have a daily drawdown limit when it comes to prop firms. Now, I'm more focused on personal capital, so I don't really think about things like that, but it is linked to a copy trader with prop firms as well. Now, within my copy trader, I adjust the risk settings there so that it's not a full 2% risk per trade, because that could very quickly blow a prop firm account, and I don't want that. Now, getting into the core strategy settings, we have the retracement level, which is of course customizable, but mine is currently set to 71. We have an imbalance filter, which means there's only a trade if the Fibonacci level lines up with an imbalance. I always have that set to true. This is the default on the EA. A lot of these settings are just default, and I don't recommend changing them to any of our members. We've noticed significantly improved results when the trades are only taken when the Fib level lands up with the imbalance. This is a huge confluence. It's something I've talked about for a long time, and we notice it in the data as well. Now, we also have a premium and discount filter, which means the EA will only take a trade if the premium and discount higher time frame lines up with the execution time frame. So we have that set to the daily time frame, which means the EA will only be selling if the daily is at a premium, and the EA will only be buying if the daily is at a discount. We also have a liquidity filter, just identifying liquidity sweeps, which prevents a lot of crappy trades and ensures that we're only getting involved in the best A+ setups possible. Now, after that, we have some more customizable things in the trade settings here. We have increase stop loss base. I typically have this set to 2 pips, and what that does basically is instead of putting the stop loss, for example, right at this low, it'll place it 2 pips below that, just to give a little bit of breathing room for spread. Now, I realize I forgot to do that on this pair, so let me change that right now. Now, the minimum stop loss size to consider is 10 pips. So that means if the EA identifies a trade idea where the stop loss is worth less than 10 pips, it's not going to take that trade. The main reason for this is that we want to focus on the most significant opportunities. We don't want to be trading these tiny little ranges that just end up getting chopped up in a bunch of noise. But we've got some more customizable options here. We have take profit mode. It's currently set to fib extension, but you could also set that to risk to reward. And then we have some trade management options as well. Now, I currently am doing break even at 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio. So the use break even is set to true, and I have the risk to reward factor set to 2. This is just something I'm testing. I know I've not always been an advocate for break evens, but that also changes on a yearly basis. I notice different market conditions all the time. And so far in 2025, I've noticed a lot of the time price will get within a few pips of the take profit and then abruptly reverse and hit the stop loss. So to prevent that, I'm implementing this for now, and we'll see if that changes in the future. Now, we've got imbalance settings. Reduce mitigated fair value gap is set to true, and that means that when a fair value gap is slightly tapped into, it will just reduce on the chart. It's more of a visual thing, but it also factors into other features of the EA, such as the imbalance filter up here. But more importantly, it affects the next setting here, which is the minimum fair value gap height to consider a valid trade in pips. I have that currently set to 2 pips on the 15-minute time frame. I think that's a good filter because anything less than that is not something I would ever want to get involved with. And any more than that, you're not going to be finding many opportunities to trade, basically. Now, last but not least, we have our time settings, which is basically trading day filters. We can turn this to true or false. Maybe let's say you're expecting really high impact news on a certain day. You could turn off Friday, for example. Let's say it's NFP Friday. You just turn it off and make sure the EA doesn't trade on that day. I'm typically going to keep these all set to true because I don't pay too much attention to news events. As I've always said, the news kind of just accelerates what's happening on the charts already. It doesn't necessarily change what's happening. So I don't put too much weight on the economic calendar. Now let's also head over to my other MT5 terminal right here, which is for swing trading, the 4-hour time frame. This account is performing a little bit worse than the other one. So far, 2025 has been a slow start for swing trades, but I'm still very optimistic. There's a lot of good opportunities on the horizon, but it's definitely been progressing quite slowly. So I'm currently involved in Euro NZD right here. It's in drawdown, doesn't look too great. Let's see, Aussie CAD. Let's go to the left here. Aussie CAD is a trade that I'm actively in as well. This is another really good representation of how the EA has been coded. We see a clear liquidity grab here, a clear break of structure to the downside, imbalance. The fib level lands on the imbalance, and that's where the order was activated. This one's just kind of messing around. It's slightly in profit, but not doing too great. For some reason, the swing trades just won't pick a direction lately. And that's why it's nice to have a swing trading account and a day trading account simultaneously, because they kind of pick up the slack from one another. When one is slow, the other one's usually performing very well, and vice versa. So we've also got GBP AUD, another just absolutely brutal swing trade. Bought over here, looked like a great A+ setup, but unfortunately it's been moving completely sideways. This is like watching paint dry. It's been very painful, but I don't interfere with my trades. I'm just going to hold it and see what happens. Also, this is an automated EA system, so I certainly am not going to be interfering with my trades because that would defeat the whole purpose of it. We've ran a lot of tests over the course of 10 years on this EA in terms of chart data, and this thing performs beautifully with an average of a 50% win rate, and the risk to reward ratio is very healthy as well. So the numbers play out quite well over time, so it's my job to just leave it alone and let it do its thing. Now I'll briefly pull up the settings here as well on the swing side, just so you can see the difference here. On my swing account, I recently changed from 2% risk up to 5% risk. That's because this has a very high win rate. Again, it's like 51 something percent. So very, very significant win rate. The 15-minute side is a slightly lower win rate, but it can be more aggressive, which means potential for more profit. However, the swing side is a much safer, more conservative approach to trading. But because of the high win rate, I'm comfortable setting this to 5%. Now, again, this is just a personal account and I'm okay with that risk. But in terms of prop firms, through the copy trader, I adjust the risk settings. So it's 20% of that, which means it's risking a very small amount of that 5%. And that way I don't blow any prop firm challenges because of this. Now, pretty much all of the settings here are the same, except the minimum stop loss size to consider a valid trade has been bumped up to 15 pips, and the minimum fair value gap height to consider a valid trade has been bumped up to 10 pips. This is just because obviously we're dealing with larger ranges on the 4-hour time frame, so we have to tweak those settings a little bit. Now, the minimum stop loss size, again, it's really cool because it kind of weeds out those crappy small ranges that I wouldn't want to be trading anyways. I've noticed from my manual trading as well, like 15 pips is kind of a minimum for a stop loss size in terms of these 4-hour ranges that I'm targeting. So that explains that. Now, there's one more thing I forgot to mention here. We also have the opportunity to do partial profits. You could close 50% at a certain reward factor and then close 100% at a certain reward factor. You could certainly do that as well if you set the take profit mode to risk to reward instead of fib extension. I choose fib extension because that means the parameters are based on the Fibonacci. So with my 71% entry here, it will automatically place my stop loss at the swing low down here, and it will automatically place my take profit at the swing high way up here. So it's all done for me, and it calculates my lot size automatically and enters the trade automatically based on the amount of risk that I have set up in these settings. Well, I'm done the tasks that I wanted to do today, and I think I gave a pretty good explanation of the EA for you all, because I know I've been getting a ton of questions about it and I don't want to keep you guys in the dark. So I'll certainly update you as things progress. But we just recently publicly launched this EA. So if you'd like access to it, you can click the link in the description of this video. It's the first link there. So far, we have a few hundred people within our community that are actively using this EA, and the results and the feedback have been tremendous so far. But after this explanation of the EA, I hope you guys can see why I've been kind of quiet as well, because I'm focusing on other things. Like, for example, the rental property that I showed you guys earlier today, that's been a huge priority of mine. I'm just about ready to, refinance that thing, get my money out of it, rent it out, move that capital into something else, while simultaneously exploring my actual passions. I've always been passionate about trading, but it's more of a means to an end. It's what I do to earn an income, and that income allows me to do other things that I want to do. And one of those things has actually been really diving into music production. I've been playing guitar for, 20 years, like since I was 10 years old, basically. It was off and on for a bit while I was trying to make money, but now that things have just chilled out a bit and I can rely on some financial success that I've had, I can finally take the time to explore my creativity. And so lately I've been really diving into learning programs like Logic Pro, learning about mic placement and, mixing and mastering and all of those kinds of things. So it's been fun. It's been overwhelming, but it's a path that I know I want to take in my life, not to make anything out of it necessarily, but just to have a creative outlet and to create a body of work that I can be proud of. And also it's just fun and kind of therapeutic for me. So I really enjoy doing that. So I've been playing a lot of guitar lately. I've been really honing in on my skills and developing as a musician. And it's actually something I want to take quite seriously and eventually start playing shows and working with other musicians and seeing where that leads. So I want to thank you all for watching this video. Again, I know it's been a while since I uploaded. I'll do my best to consistently upload from now on. I just had to take a little break. The main reason was actually because we were working so hard on this EA and getting it ready to launch to our community members that there was just so much work going on behind the scenes. I couldn't possibly think of content to post on YouTube. That just simply wasn't a priority. I just want to clarify too, like I enjoy uploading on YouTube, but this isn't my job. I don't have a job. I don't answer to people. Like I just create content as I please. And if I don't have any content that I feel like making, then I'm not going to force it just to get it out there and please the algorithm. I don't make pretty much any money from YouTube ad revenue. Like it's so insignificant to me. Pays a few bills, I guess, but it's more of just like documenting my journey than anything. Like it doesn't really make much money. Maybe someday it will, but for now it's pretty insignificant. But you see a lot of YouTubers just forcing out content multiple days per week, just trying to please the algorithm. And that's just not something I think I can ever do. It feels too forced to me. I've tried it in the past and it just doesn't work. I get burnt out very, very quickly. I don't enjoy the process. I would much rather create content as I feel inspired to and release it that way. I think I've rambled for enough today. I enjoyed catching up with you guys. I hope you enjoyed catching up with me. I'm going to put the camera down now and get back to recording some guitar because that's all I've been thinking about lately. There are some sounds in my head that I really need to get out, and so I'm looking forward to that. I'll film a little bit of that to close out this video so I can play you off to some hopefully nice sounds. Hope you all enjoy, and I'll talk to you on the next one.